We're kicking into Full Gear, baby. Here we go. Full Gear recap right here on the Ace in the Hole podcast. I do believe the media scrum's still going on, but we got in here pretty much as soon as the pay-per-view ended. We were waiting to hear anything interesting on the media scrum. MJF came in, told everyone go fuck themselves, told Tony Khan to go fuck themselves. He said, thank you, fuck you, bye. But, what episode is this? We on episode 11? I believe it is episode 11.
I thought it was 10.
No, I think last week was 10. I do believe this is 11 we're on here. Joined with me as always well, not as always. We've had some variety throughout our run here, but Eli and Cliff.
This is episode 10, not including the week that we took off.
Are you sure?
11 if you include the week that we took off.
I don't know.
I just looked.
Let me check.
He doesn't trust me.
You don't have access. You don't have access to all the business stuff, though.
The business.
The business stuff. Of course, it's not going to let me. I know we have at least 10. We have at least 10.
I just said 10.
No.
I started to say 9.
We're talking 10. We're talking 10, and then the week we took off, which has more plays than our last episode. And then
people did not like the 2-hour-long episode. I wonder why.
And then the trailer that we had to put up because your mic didn't want to record that entire week.
That was the predictions week, too.
Yeah, it was. We couldn't get predictions out for this today because it was just...
timing.
Too much. We might have to change our fucking record days if we want to catch all these pay-per-views because they're going to happen on Saturdays always. So
Sundays like it should be.
Yeah. God, that's how long we've had this podcast. We had this podcast when WWE had their
events.
Yeah, they switched from pay-per-view to premium live event and they switched that shit to Saturday on us.
God damn.
But Eli, Cliff, fresh off of Full Gear, how are we feeling? Apparently not good at all, since you guys are not giving me anything. Well, apparently it was terrible.
I was going to let Eli talk, because, he always says he never gets to talk, but, I guess I'll talk here. I personally think this is the strongest show of the year for AEW. I am very happy with the product they put out. Very sad there was no hook on my screen. Very happy of the state of the company moving forward, and also very happy of the show we're going to get in 2 weeks.
I'm looking forward to it because 2 out of the 3 members of the Ace in the Hole, Cliff and I, we're actually going to go to AEW when it's in Indy, November 30th. Might have to make us a little sign because we'll be on the hard cam. What? I said we'll be on the hard cam. What? So we'll be on the hard cam. Yeah. So I might have to make us a sign, honestly. But that's one thing we did get out of Media Scrum is that Tony Khan did say that he's got big events coming up these next couple weeks. That including the show in Indy
Basically,
well as
up until Christmas, there's going to be nothing but big shows. He said.
So. That's straight from the desk to the pod to you, wherever you're sitting. Be looking for some...
your house, your office, your front lawn, wherever you are.
If you're Chad, you're probably listening to us on the mower. That's just... office. That is some news straight to you. I felt personally, like I agree. It was probably the most... I'm not going to say the most popular show of the year. Having MJF on obviously is going to boost the ratings no matter what, but he's trying to top CM Punk draws, which I think at this point I don't know if anyone can top a CM Punk come back after 7 years draws. But I think it was solid. I think there was only one match that I can think of in my mind that was lacking, and that was obviously the Paige, or whatever you want to call her, match. The MJF match, they could have done a little more. Not a whole lot more, maybe just a tad bit more. But other than that, I mean, it was kind of what we expected, just maybe a slight bit better. So yeah, so I'd probably give it around a 7 or an 8. It was solid. Not gonna knock your socks off. Not anything revolutionary, but it was very, very solid.
I'm going to give it an
6.5.
8.5, mainly just because I got to hear Kansas. And I got to have the reference to, honestly, a pretty good TV show. So.
Why is 6.5?
I feel like some of the matches we had on the actual main card could have been swapped out with what we had on the buy-in show, and it would have made it so much better of a pay-per-view. The Eddie Kingston match would have been amazing on the actual pay-per-view card.
Eddie Kingston belongs on 0 Hour.
I'm already going
What, you have
into
something you want to say to me about it?
Yeah. I don't agree with that at all.
What do we want to debate? We've got all the time in the world. What do we want to debate?
I don't believe that he deserves to be on the 0 Hour nonstop.
I think he does.
Why?
All he can do is talk. He can talk and brawl. That's it. That's his entire shtick. And he can't even brawl very well.
Isn't that professional wrestling?
He's a wannabe Stone Cold. He's got the same kind of moveset as Stone Cold. Stone Cold went in there and fucking brawled.
Coming from the guy who is the fan of a guy who is trying to be The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin at the same time.
Who?
LA Knight.
Bro, LA Knight kicks ass.
You leave Shark Boy out of this, damn it. Give me a shell, yeah.
Shell, yeah.
Well, let me talk to you. LA Knight is better than that slob Eddie Kingston in every aspect. Yeah, I said it. And that's just a fact of life. Yeah.
So are we adding TNA Eli Drake to LA Knight now?
What do you mean? He just said that's a fact of life literally Friday on SmackDown.
Yeah, right before he got
Yeah, right before he got Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, Uncle Howdy, yeah.
Because he gave that interview, he's like, yeah, let me talk to you. And he was like, that's just a fact of life. Yeah. I've got a feeling it's going to become an action. Got a feeling it's going to become an action here very, very soon. The way that this all is progressing. What do you think that's leading up to? Before we get into Full Gear, we'll discuss WWE a tad bit. Where do you think this LA Knight and Bray Wyatt stuff's going?
Honestly?
I'm simply here for the ride.
I think, honestly, they could take it one of two ways. We know that Bray filed some trademarks for a lot of different characters and stuff. WWE did. So either LA Knight is going to be somehow the way, like, Bo or one of the Wyatt Six gets introduced. Or they're going to do something stupid and put LA Knight as a Wyatt Six member.
I wouldn't
hate
be
it.
opposed to that, but it's not the direction I thought he would go. I didn't think they were bringing LA Knight up and getting him away from the Maximum Male Models to be a part of the Wyatt Six. Maybe they're getting him instead of Grayson Waller. Maybe that's the thought there. Because him and Grayson Waller kind of play the same type of character. LA Knight's just 1,000 times better at it than Grayson Waller is. And he was one of the rumored people, Grayson Waller was. So maybe they're just kind of switching Grayson Waller out for LA Knight. I don't know. This is pure speculation on my part. I'm just here for the ride. I love them both, and I think what they're doing. He did beat up little Jimmy after he sent R-Truth to go get some surgery.
I don't know. I fully believe that they're using LA Knight with Bray, like how they used John Cena with Brock Lesnar when he came back. Like, this is just the vehicle to introduce the character and what it's all about.
I don't know. I feel like they're giving them too much airtime and too many weekly segments for it to just be that. Like, they aren't going to build up to a single match and have a blow-off match and go their separate ways. Because if that was the case, then they wouldn't have 3 segments of them in a night.
I don't necessarily think it's that. I just think that there's so much hype around this Bray character, they have to present so much of it, so that way eventually they can, explain the enamorous depth of this character. That's a 7-cent word right there.
I think you meant to say that these people need to get educated on who LA Knight is, because they don't go watch NXT 2.0. They don't go watch TNA. They need to know who LA Knight is. They need to know why they need to be chanting "yeah" after every single word. I personally love the fact that LA Knight's got his own Stone Cold what? Because if you go look back on stuff like NWA and TNA and all that, after every single sentence or word, you'd hear the fucking crowd going, "Yeah."
It was awesome. Or dummy. That was his thing in TNA was dummy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just watched a video of him not too long ago where he had the top 5 dummies, and he broke his button halfway through.
Yeah,
because he'd press the button and it'd go dummy, yeah, and he'd go yeah.
We may be seeing something.
And then Moose came out and kicked his ass
from the Wyatt 6 coming up soon, because Alexa Bliss has been having some Wyatt logos popping up when she's on the screen. And so she's a part of War Games, so maybe we're going to be getting something from her at War Games, potentially.
Do you think they'd build up to an LA Knight Bray match at War Games?
Potentially, yes.
It'd be
not War Games, the next event after War Games.
It would be a quick turnaround,
I'm not saying a match.
But they're moving decently fast with it.
I'm not saying a match. It doesn't have to be a match. I'm saying that there could be something that sparks the match at War Games.
I'm just saying I wouldn't put it past them to be like, oh, we're gonna have you fight at War Games, and then have it be have him Bray lose to some gimmicky way, like Uncle Howdy makes him go insane or something and lose by disqualification, and that nullifies the match. So they have to have another match later on. I think it'll be something like that. Because you don't slap Bray Wyatt and get away with it.
Well, Bray was also behind Karrion Kross on SmackDown too, and it was having a conversation with somebody. So there's a lot of things going on right now in the background that we don't know.
I wish they would do this along with the ARGs. That they just kind of did away with that, and I wish they would have kept doing it as we were getting more and more with this character, because you could use that as a great fill in to the character. Everything we're seeing on screen can be made even deeper by still doing those ARGs every week. Which I get dropping it because you'd probably lose its novelty by now, but I feel like it would benefit the character a lot to fill in that backstory or give us hints or something, this, that, the other.
That's fair.
But they did away with it, and that was their decision. Personally, I'm excited for War Games.
Yes.
I think it'll be a great show. I think it'll be Hunter's real first show, if that makes any sense, because he's still been trying to unravel all of the stuff he was handed. So I think this will be his first real show that he's kind of gotten his full grasp on, because we've slowly been seeing it build up over Clash at the Castle, SummerSlam, all of that, and now here it is, and this is Hunter's product now. It's not any remnants of Vince's stench or grasp or any of that. This is all Hunter by this point. He's had enough time to turn it around, so I'm interested, and I'm glad that they're moving away from the normal Survivor Series match. It's a cool idea, and if they built it up more, it'd be a lot cooler. But in the past few years, it hasn't really mattered. The last time it mattered was when the shows started invading each other. NXT came up and invaded Raw, and then Becky Lynch got her shit punched on SmackDown.
Becky Lynch turned into the Man in one night, yeah.
and then Nia Jax wants to go brag about it on Instagram about being unsafe and being a danger to the people you work with. That's really cool. Yeah. Go sell your OnlyFans.
Well, there was a time where WWE didn't have Survivor Series. So if you look back, you can find gaps with logos of old Survivor Series logos, and there's some times where they're just not there. So you can go away without Survivor Series. It's not something that has to be there. It could just become War Games, and it would be fine.
But it's supposed to be one of those big four. So, I mean, I get why they're still sticking with it, but it definitely needed a new feeling. Because, like I said, it was getting stale. No one really cared about it anymore. It wasn't really a big four pay-per-view anymore. And I think I said that a few weeks ago on the podcast. I think I brought it up how Survivor Series wasn't really feeling like a big four pay-per-view anymore. And I feel like this is what they need to do in order to get it back to that status of being a big four pay-per-view. Because War Games was always a big hit in NXT, and I think it'll do just as great, if not better, on the main roster. And you got a lot of people in there that have been in War Games before. You got Kevin Owens, Pete Dunne, and I think that's it.
The women's side, you have some people that have been in there too. On the women's side of the War Games.
So you're gonna have people that have been in these before and they know how to work them, so they can kind of tug the match in the right direction. So I think they'll do just fine on Survivor Series. But we're getting off topic here. The title of this is going to be Full Gear, and we're almost 20 minutes in, and we haven't talked about Full Gear. Well, we touched on it, but Full Gear results right here. I'll ask you guys on the spot. Do you want me to go through them all and then we go back through and pick out the matches we want, or do you want to talk about each match individually?
I am fine either way.
I'll let you guys decide.
I think we go from the top to the bottom and then we ping on things that we like as you're going through. So we'll go through the match, comment, next match, comment, next match, comment.
You already know the match I'm going to talk about.
Kicking off the 0 hour, which was 3 matches before Full Gear. First match we got was Orange Cassidy, Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and a very evil, very mysterious Danhausen beat the Factory, which is QT Marshall, Cole Carter, Nick Comoroto, Aaron Solo, and Lee Johnson. I thought it was a pretty decent match. Orange Cassidy actually felt like a big deal in the match, which I was a little worried because you have the All-Atlantic champion wrestling in a 10-man tag match on your kickoff show, in the first match of your kickoff show. Mm-hmm. So, I mean... But he actually did kind of feel like a big deal. And then we had Evil Danhausen come back, which pissed me off because it wasn't like his actual horror movie Danhausen. It was just kind of evil Danhausen. It wasn't fully evil Danhausen, but I get the idea there. They didn't want to go all the way back. They've painted up this brand for Danhausen, so it felt right to kind of keep him within that brand, because he was posting stuff on social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that, talking about like the voice that he thought was gone, and he'll tear people limb from limb and tear the flesh off their bones if you need to.
Just point me in the direction, basically, I think is what it said.
Yeah, pretty much. And he came out with the teeth and the pick, and he came out, kicked ass for a solid 2 minutes, finished the match, and he left.
Actually showed he could wrestle too.
Yeah, which is what a lot of people don't know about him. He's a great in-ring performer, and this was his first chance to actually show that. So I feel like all in all, if we're doing an up and down system,
Simon Miller.
Yeah, a la Simon Miller. I think this gets an up from me. I mean, it was good. It did everything it needed to.
Yeah.
I would especially give it an up because I finally get to see the Danhausen that could pair with Hook and run the tag division. If you put evil Danhausen and Hook together, tell me they wouldn't run the division.
They could.
They would. I was about to say Danhausen. I mean, they both. It was a big deal when they got together, and then they just kind of weren't together anymore. So I think it'd be a pretty big deal if they got back together. A lot of ratings, a lot of sales to happen there, a lot of eyes back on the product.
I gotta go with an up on the match. I love me some best friends. I love me some New Japan talent and Rocky Romero, and then bring in Evil Danhausen, and all around it was a decent one. I became a little bit more of an Orange Cassidy fan, and I'm slowly growing more and more on him. Just all around though, it was a really good match, even though, it was against the Factory, who is a whole mess in themselves.
The more I watch QT Marshall wrestle, I'm ever so slightly getting more and more behind him.
He's not bad.
Like, at first, I hated QT Marshall. I did not like him at all. Ever since I watched him, because I watch Dark from time to time, and he's on there, and, like, just slowly watching him more and more, I get, like, more and more, like, invested and more respect for him. So I don't mind a little bit of QT Marshall.
He's not
honestly.
bad. Honestly,
I know some people cannot stand him. I don't think he's that bad. I used to be I couldn't stand him, but now I watch him wrestle, and I don't think he's that bad. I'm learning to grow an appreciation for QT Marshall.
The ones in the Factory aren't that bad either. Separately, some of them. It's when you have them together as a group that it starts becoming a problem and a mess. Because it's a lot of solo superstars as a whole faction, and it just doesn't work.
I agree. I think it'd be better as a trio versus... I don't know what three you would keep, but I don't think you need that many people.
You could keep QT.
You could keep that...
Aaron.
You could keep
Lee.
the young guy. I forget the... Was it Cole... Hold on, I just read his name.
Go-Go?
Cole Carter.
He's not bad.
I say you keep QT, Cole Carter, and one of the other three.
Aaron Solo.
And you'd have a pretty solid trio.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because you'd give your two young guys someone to learn from and actually give them a purpose versus just being a giant faction who goes and loses every week. Which they'd probably be a trio and go and lose every week, but they'd be wrestling people like the Elite and Death Triangle and Best Friends and all that. Which they wrestled Best Friends tonight in a losing effort. Moving on to the next match, Ricky Starks beat Brian Cage.
Hell of a match.
Yeah, I was about to say, I like this match just because of what it sets up for next week. So, I mean, like I said, a lot of the stuff on the show for me, like, it's kind of what I expected. Like, it delivered. So, a lot of it's probably going to get an up. Just because it was kind of what we all expected. So, this match gets an up for me. Sets up a great match between Starks and... Why am I blanking on his name right now?
Brian Cage? Or no, who he's facing. All Ego Ethan Page.
Yeah, I knew it started with an E. Ethan Page. Yeah, that's going to be a great match. I don't know why I blanked on his name. He was on commentary during the match. I don't... Right over my head. It's been a long night. But it gets an up for me. I always loved Brian Cage. I was a big fan of him in Lucha Underground. There's our Underground plug for the week. So I was a big fan of him in Lucha Underground. It's kind of carried over. I just kind of followed him. And when he arrived in AEW, I was excited, and then he just kind of left, and now he's back. So I love me some big sweaty man Brian Cage.
It gets an up for me too. Just solid wrestling on a wrestling show. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's not a sports entertainment show. It's a wrestling show.
It's an up. I watched it. That was like I totally spaced on the Best Friends and everything match because I was already doing something else. So I had to go back and watch that. But I watched that match start to end, and it was... I enjoyed the injury playoff by Ricky Starks. I enjoyed the story because they were part of Team Taz for the longest time together. So they have the history of being in the same ring, training, and everything else. And so there was a lot of story, and it was two guys that can go into the ring and put on a really good match. And honestly, that's one of the matches that probably could have been put on a main card, and it would have been fine. So it's an up. I just hope that they get what they deserve.
I just don't think you put that type of match on the main card simply for what they're wrestling for. Because it was still the semifinals of the Eliminator tournament. If that was the finals, then maybe. Because that would set up the next contender for MJF's title. Mm-hmm. Oops, spoiler. Tee-hee-hee. But it was only a semifinal, so I think it being on the pre-show is warranted. It was definitely a main card caliber match, though.
Yeah.
Moving on to the final 0-hour match. Eddie Kingston beat Yun Akiyama. I'm going to let you two go first before I share my opinions on it.
It's an up for me. It's an up for me. I love a good shoot-style match. I go through every single episode ending it with Stan Hansen as the best pro wrestler of all time because you get hit with a freaking lariat from that dude and you're dead pretty much. I love stiff fighting. That's why I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love that style. Eddie called it out. It's the All Japan, I want to say Royal Wrestling. I don't think that's the right phrasing of it. But it's shoot fight wrestling the whole way through. There's also a nice story behind it of Eddie Kingston watched... I'm pulling an Austin here. I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. Yoon, I think it is. He watched him in New York, had a match, and so that's what got him into wrestling.
Are you talking about the dude he wrestled?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yoon
Akiyama.
Akiyama, yeah.
Yeah, and he watched him in New York, and that's kind of what brought him into wrestling, so there was a nice story behind it. I enjoyed the end of the match where, he's cutting a promo and he gets told he has to leave, so he quickly dives out of the ring and walks away. All around, it was a nice way of ending the pre-show.
It's not for me solely for the fact that Eddie Kingston ended it with, and I quote, "Hey people at home, it's 7:53. Order the goddamn pay-per-view." It's an up for me for that reason. It would have been an up if he didn't say that, just because, once again, a different style of wrestling, but a good style of wrestling on a really good wrestling show. Austin, go ahead. I can feel it bubbling up within you. Let it go.
Gets a down from me. It just didn't do anything for me. It didn't, there
Mr.
was no
Deathmatch didn't enjoy people trying to kill each other.
That didn't do anything for me. It just wasn't. It had no reason to be there. There was no payoff.
It wasn't a blowjob. It wasn't supposed to do anything for you.
Wrestling is supposed to make you feel, isn't it? It's supposed to have a reason. That had no reasoning behind it. It was very flat. It felt like we didn't need it. Like, for me, it just didn't do it for me. And I like shoot style. I have no problems with shoot style. It's just, if there was one match that this card could have gone completely without, it was this one.
It's just that you don't like Eddie Kingston, Austin. You can
I also don't like... I don't like Eddie Kingston, but I'm looking at this as a match on a card where it has no business of being on the card. Besides getting Eddie Kingston on his pay-per-views that Tony Khan probably promised.
Except for the fact that, they had a match on Rampage and they lost. And it's a guy Eddie Kingston looks up to, so there's a whole story behind it.
I'm sticking by my guns. I don't think it deserved to be on the pre-show.
Hey, to each their own. I'm going to shit on a match later on, so...
I already know what match it is, and we're all probably going to shit on it, so we're chilling. So, that's the end of the 0 hour, the buy-in, whatever you want to call it. First match of the night was Jungle Boy defeating Luchasaurus in a steel cage. Great fucking match. Gets it up from me. Jungle Boy Jack Perry is really becoming his own. He's breaking away from all that. And that's something they talked about a few times in the media scrum, because we got to watch him talk. And he was talking about not being Jungle Boy anymore. He said specifically himself he's never going back to just Jungle Boy. It's always going to be Jungle Boy Jack Perry or just Jack Perry or something of the sort. So he's really coming into his own. We might see him with Luchasaurus again at some point. I got a feeling they'll be back together. Don't know when, don't know why, don't know how. But right now, he's definitely a contender for the All-Atlantic title, I feel like. I feel like that'd be a good logical next move for that title. If you want to get it off Orange Cassidy, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, especially with this one over Luchasaurus, or maybe the TNT title, a good underdog story against Samoa Joe. Oops, spoiler T. But it's moving in the right direction for him. He's becoming his own, and it gets an up for me.
I can go. It's an up for me. I enjoyed the story that they've told with it. I just, want it to be done. Because this rivalry is dead. It's been beaten into the ground. I mean, there's nothing else they can really do with it. I agree completely that Luchasaurus and him will probably be a tag team again. Maybe Marco Stunt will come back. We don't know.
Probably never.
I enjoy the story behind it. I enjoy the wrestling. Jack was busted open. And he was still bloody in the media scrum. So, I can enjoy a good steel cage match. I don't like death matches, but I can enjoy a good steel cage match where one or both competitors are busted open, where there's a nice story behind it, where you're able to watch it and you get pulled in by every little action that happens throughout the whole match. It just keeps drawing you in, and it gets better and better. It started off slow, but by the end of it, you have fully pulled in and wanting to see who is going to come out of it on top. Cliff.
It's an up for me, but for a completely different reason. It's an up for me now that this feud is being put to bed.
No, it's not.
Until
He
Christian
said it.
Cage is healthy.
There it is.
He said,
being put to
right,
bed.
say, Jungle Boy Jack Perry himself said that when Christian Cage is cleared, he's got to kick his ass. So this is always going to be lingering over him until he comes back so he can lose to him, so they have 20 matches. But I agree. It just needs to be over. Sorry.
Yeah, they both need to go and do their own different things. Luchasaurus can go after the ROH title now. And, they can get two big men slapping on each other. Oh, the ROH TV title, sorry.
I was about to say, TV
And,
title's more up his...
Yeah, the TV title. And Jungle Boy can go after the All-Atlantic or any
I like
other
that one
minor
better.
title he wants to go after. So, yeah, I get an up.
Moving on to the next match, Death Triangle beat the returning Elite. Came out to Old Kansas.
Awesome
Carry on
intro.
my wayward son. And this is going to have a best of 7 series. Literally best of 7. This is going to carry on into Indianapolis. We were talking about it at the start of the show. So, I'm excited to see this match. I've gotten to see everyone that'll be in that match besides... Actually, no, I saw Pac perform last time they came to Indy. So, this will be cool to see everyone again performing once again. All us trios, though. Should be a very, very good match regardless of what I think of the Young Bucks. This match obviously gets an up. You have 6 of the probably best people in the ring in AEW going at it. Obvious up for me.
I put it up just because... it's up for me because, well, I love the Young Bucks. I enjoyed them in TNA as Generation Me, Matt, and I forget what he went by. But I enjoyed them because they used to wrestle with Motor City Machine Guns all the time. Hell of X Division matches, hell of tag team matches. They know how to get it done in a tag match. The Lucha Bros know how to get it done. Pac and Kenny Omega add on an amazing... I don't want to say... I forget the word I was going to say, but Pac and Omega add on to the match in amazing different ways that the tag team aspect is away from, because they're not fully tag team wrestlers, they're more solo competitors. So when you have the tag teams and then you have the solo competitors, it makes a nice trios match. It's not the old run-of-the-mill where everybody's a tag team and it's just multiple tag team maneuvers. You have parts of the match where you go into it and you have the solo competitors, and the tag team's able to do it too, but when you have Kenny and Pac in the ring together, it's almost like a singles match within a tag style match.
Yeah, no, this is a mega up. If I was possible to give out a mega up, I'd give it to this. Because the beautiful story of not only bringing the Elite back, but having them face arguably the three best people who are considered outsiders of AEW, facing the three people who very publicly claim that they are the reason AEW exists. It was a great show, and I can't wait to see match 3 in Indy.
What do you think the score will be going in Indy? You think it'll be 2-0? You think it'll be 1-1?
I think it'll be 2-0, and I think the Elite are going to win in Indy to make it 2-1.
Probably. Or maybe they'll go up 3-0 and then...
The reverse sweep.
Yeah, they'll battle back and win 3 in a row, and then...
It'll
Because
be
it's
like
obviously going to 7 matches.
It's going to be the MLB
it's
playoffs.
going 7. It's going 7.
I mean, moving on from that match to a pretty one. It's Jade Cargill. Cargill, my bad. Defeating Nyla Rose. Gets it down for me just because it was I'm tired of Jade Cargill. I don't think she's that good. Personally, not the biggest fan. I think you need to get that title off of her because no one gives a shit about the title anymore because it's around her waist. So I think you should have gotten it off of her there. They did not. So then here we are. It gets it down for me.
I'm going. It's down for me. I was gonna start yelling the Thundercats slogan, but I don't even have the energy to even try for this match. It was not a good one.
Thundercats.
Thundercats. Ho!
Ho! Had a little Jack Duggan. Hacksaw Jim
Jack
Duggan.
Duggan?
Ho!
Yeah, it's a down. It's a mega down. It's a super down. It's terrible. Nyla Rose can go into the ring and put on a decent match. Nyla Rose can't even go into this match and make it better. Because she's up against Jade Cargill. She kills off every single bit of momentum a match can have. And I wish I was joking about that, and it was just because I don't like Jade, but it's true. We've seen it time and time again through her 42-0 run. She just kills the match. It has been awful, and I hate it. I hate every single second that she's in the ring because it ruins every single thing that they could have had with that TBS championship. So it's a down, completely.
I wish there was a way for me to give it a middle because I enjoyed the Thundercats, but it was the only thing I liked. Oh, I take it back. I liked the Thundercats, and I liked Vicky coming out wearing Rhea's shirt. Austin, did you see this?
I did.
I didn't. Hang on.
Dude,
What?
Vicky Guerrero coming out wearing the "I'm Your Mommy" shirt that Rhea currently,
Rhea could be my mommy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So, but we don't live in a world of Miz, so I got to give it a down. At this point, I'm just kind of wondering who are they going to try to build up to take it off of her.
No
Like,
one.
someone's
They
gotta
don't
do
have
it.
anyone.
Someone has to do it. They got to bring in somebody who can do it. I don't know who. Maybe they'll sign this little-known act, ex-WWE, Trinity Fatu, or that Mercedes, what's her last name, or whatever.
No.
I'm just
Bro
straight
said
up, just
no.
no.
Why don't you bring in what's her name? Is it Maki Ito?
Oh
Yes.
no, Austin. We got to throw it back to Lucha Underground again. They need to bring back either a Sexy Star or
Ooh,
a,
no.
Shut the hell up. Shut the
Ready
hell
to say
up.
you do not say Sexy Star's
No.
name. That is not
No.
not a good name to bring up ever
No.
again.
Yeah, no, that was a rough go in Mexico. That was a shady bit of pro wrestling.
I was about to say you heard about all that, correct? You know about all that.
Yeah, no,
I thought we were
read
going to have a
about it
history
all, yeah.
lesson here, right, man?
Yeah, no. I said it to start shit.
So that was
All right,
an immediate PTSD in my brain.
I say from here, we kind of go rapid fire style. If there's anything big you want to hit on, feel free to. I'm just going to read, get ups, downs. If you want to expand on anything, feel free to.
Eli, wait till the end, please. We
Okay.
know you got a 20-minute rant in you.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm saying stop me when you got a rant in you or you want to add something. Because I know you're going to add something right after this next match. So, this one was for the ROH Championship. Chris Jericho defeated Bryan Danielson, Cesaro. I'm calling him Cesaro. I don't give a shit. And Sammy Guevara, the Real Devil. Nope. It wasn't bad. It's what we've been seeing for the past, 4 weeks. So, gets an up, I guess. They need to do something new with the title.
I give it an up just because, and I don't like Sammy. I'm never gonna like Sammy. Sammy turned on Chris Jericho during the match. Straight up turned on him, and I'm kinda interested to see what happens on Dynamite now. It was also a decent match, so I mean, it's an up, no matter what. The other three carried it.
It's an up because, once again, really good pro wrestling on a really good pro wrestling show. I'm a very simple man.
And here's the match Eli's been waiting for me to say.
Alright, I'm going to go to the
Alright.
bathroom. I'll be back in 25 minutes. I won't miss a thing. It's a down from me.
So, Saria defeated DMD, Dr. Britt Baker.
Hell.
Cliff gave it a down. I'm going to give it a down. Eli, the floor is yours.
It's a fucking down. One of the worst wrestlers to come back into pro wrestling today. I was saying it. You guys wanted me to give her a chance. I tried giving her a chance. She immediately came in saying that she was the best thing in pro wrestling today. She said that she built divisions, but she destroyed every single one of them. I'm sorry, but if they give her a title opportunity, all I can think of is that she's going to end up naked next to it, or she's going to end up with cum on it that she's licking off. There's no in between at this point. She's not good in the ring anymore. She's not good on the microphone. It is terrible. The fans do not cheer her as she's coming down to the ring. They do not do anything. It is watching her. It's like watching a snail try and race a turtle. It's not entertaining. It's not. She's not good. You guys wanted me to try, and I tried. I really tried to be impartial with her, but it has been terrible. It has been awful, and I cannot remotely even try to get around the point of where she could even remotely be good. She's just not.
So, safe to say it's a down?
It's a down. It's infinitely down.
I will say Paige's best year. I will say tonight looked like Paige's best years were better left on Reddit and X videos. Just better performances in her elite stuff than tonight, honestly, from her. I could keep going with the sex video jokes all night, but I'm sure Paige wouldn't like that too much. Probably get a little something on her face. I will say, definitely looked like Paige and Tony Khan were fucking. That's the vibe I got from the post-media scrum.
The new Brad Maddox. That's the new Brad Maddox.
Who knows? We might get to see a little being the elite on a Tony Khan and Saria. But you got anything? You got anything else to add?
I just don't understand how. We have seen Ric Flair worked better in his final match than she did tonight.
Ooh, let's not get a little crazy here.
I'm not getting crazy here. It's the truth. I have seen wrestlers who had come back from severe injuries.
Don't say that on Paige.
Yeah. That they have come back into the ring and they've been able to do the job on the mic. They've been able to do the job in the ring. She came back and she can't do either. She is trying to take credit where credit is not hers to be taken. It is so ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. If they continue trying to push her...
Is it over yet?
No. If they continue trying to push her...
Oh, no.
They're going to kill their division. Just straight up kill it.
Put me on a mic with Saria and Saria, Paige, however the fuck you say it, bro. Put me on a mic with her, I'm burying her. And then I'm taking her back to the hotel room to give her the Brad Maddox, Xavier Woods 1-2 special. But,
God damn.
Moving on from that, I could sit there all night and keep them coming. But, just like Paige did. But, moving on to the next match. Samoa Joe defeated Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs to, that was a TNT title, correct? Not the TBS. Yes. The TNT title is now around the waist of Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's pretty much got...
2 belts.
Joe's pretty much got both the TV titles. I mean, he gets enough for me. Big, sweaty men, big, sweaty, meaty men slapping other big, sweaty, meaty men. As Cliff said, it's pro wrestling on a pro wrestling show. It's what we all expected. Gets enough. A little surprised Joe won. But, I mean, I really didn't see the title staying on Wardlow that long.
I give it an up. I enjoyed the match. Putting Samoa Joe and Wardlow in the ring, you were going to get a good match no matter what. Adding Powerhouse Hobbs in there, I love that he's getting a push because I honestly want to see him pushed. I think he could be a really good All-Atlantic champion. I think he could be a really good TNT champion. I don't really see the World Championship around his waist. I don't think he's at least there yet, maybe. I feel like he's a Mark Henry situation or a Big Show situation where he's a bigger dude and he has power with him. Same time, I just can't see the world title really getting put on him and him getting pushed in that way. But I thought he was going to win the TNT title tonight going into it. Glad we did not do a prediction show. I a little lost that one right there. But, all in all, great match. It's a great up.
Moving on to my boy. Sting and Darby Allin beat Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Gets an up for me. Sting's still doing dives at like 62 years old. Or 70, however old his ass is. So, gets an up for me. I love seeing Sting on my screen every week, so I think they might keep him with Darby Allin until Sting can't wrestle anymore. I've kind of given up hope on breaking Darby away from Sting. I think they're together for the foreseeable future. So, fuck it, we ball. I love my boy Darby. So, yeah, gets an up for me. Cliff never gave his up or down from the last one.
No, I didn't. I was waiting, and then you just kind of jumped. I was just going to give it at the end of this one. So, yeah. For the Joe, that definitely gets an up, mainly just because I wasn't expecting it. And it was really good to see Samoa Joe doing Samoa and Joseph things. And for since I'm already talking, the JEFF JARR
ETT.
I love seeing him in the ring again. He looks good. He looks good to have him back in the ring. Hopefully he's not in there too much. But yeah, this one's an up. I really enjoy it. I'm surprised Jared ate the loss. We're very lucky we didn't do predictions because I would have gotten the last two wrong. Because I would not expect Jarrett to come in and do the job on his first match.
I enjoy Darby Allin. I enjoy Sting. I'm giving it an up just because of the other three competitors in the match. I am so burnt out on Jeff Jarrett that it almost ruins any match for me seeing him in it. Because we used to watch because I believe you guys had a Asylum Days DVD of TNA. And so we would watch...
We probably did at some point.
We would
We
watch...
had the TNA Top 100 moment.
Yeah, that. It was that one. And we would watch
Jeff Jarrett is like 88 of them.
Yeah, we would watch the matches, and it would always be like Jeff Jarrett winning the NWA Championship, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, King of the Mountain, this, Jeff Jarrett. He ruined a whole company because he built it on himself, and when he left, they had nothing left to do because he built it on himself, and when he left, there was no one to pick it up. But it was a good match. The other competitors in the match carried it, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite match of the night, but I enjoyed it.
So then moving on, after that was Jamie Hayter beating Toni Storm for the real women's title, not an interim title. Thunder Rosa shouldn't even have the fucking real title. This is my fucking rant. This is what I'm pissed about. Why are they still keeping it the interim title? I don't give a shit about linear, non-linear bullshit. Your champion has been gone for 2 to 3 months now. Forever. It feels like forever. It feels like she's been gone for fucking years at this point. Why do you still have an interim title when you're 2 reigns deep now? This is a second champion since Thunder Rosa's been gone. Stop sitting with your thumb in your fucking ass and make it the real title. It makes no sense. Your champ isn't even hurt. She just left. And now it's still an interim title. Makes no sense. At all. Yeah. What? Yeah. It gets enough for me. It gets enough for me. I like Jamie Hayter.
Exactly. I'm giving it an up because I'm the New Japan fan of the whole group here. Coming with New Japan comes Stardom. So I've seen the matches of Tony in Stardom and Jamie Hayter in Stardom. Both of them, it's kind of how I was introduced to them mostly. Both of them are amazing athletes inside of the ring. Tony, when she actually cares about pro wrestling, is really good in the ring. Jamie Hayter is great all around, and I think she can give the women's world title the shot it needs. I think, honestly, out of the women they have on their roster, she's one of the better ones to have it on right now. I agree that it shouldn't be the interim championship. Thunder Rosa's gone. She's not coming back, to my knowledge. I think she has a few more days left before the 60 days non-compete clause for a championship is up. So, don't know what they're going to do with that, but I give it an up. Cliff, that's you.
I was getting there. Jesus Christ. It's an up because just seeing the crowd reacting to Jamie Hayter, you know, after watching her basically build herself up these last couple months, it's been really good to watch. It's an up for me. Sad it had to happen to Toni Storm, but, you know, you gotta be winners, gotta be losers.
Could have been worse.
Well, moving on to the co-main event, semi-main event, whatever you want to call it. The Acclaimed defeated Swerve in Our Glory, and Swerve turned on Keith Lee after the match. It gets an up, but should get it down because that means we're going to see a solo Keith Lee push, and I'm not a fan of it.
I gotta give it a down. There was great aspects to it, and I love the Acclaimed. The major part is Swerve and Our Glory shouldn't have been a tag team to begin with. Keith Lee getting a solos push, I feel like they're going to push him for the world title, and he hasn't built himself up in AEW to be pushed for that. And now you have Swerve Strickland, who thinks he's a rapper, but he's not. He thinks he's all that, but he's not. Thinks he's all great, but he's not. And he's going to be getting a singles push, and I can only see him going up against Orange Cassidy or for the TNT title, which he will lose, and then he gets pushed back even farther and loses all of the momentum that he doesn't have, but he's trying to have. And it's just, they booked two of the wrestlers in a hole because they made a tag team that shouldn't have existed. If they would have had FTR versus the Acclaim tonight, top 10 match, it would have been a thumbs up. But it's a thumbs down. I can't get behind it.
It's a thumbs up from me because I am very happy that the Acclaimed are winning. Very happy we get to see Swerve and Keith do their own thing. I am very happy for the Keith Lee singles push, as long as, you know, his body's up for it. I remember in NXT that was a sticking point, is that sometimes he would just pick up all these little weird injuries and stuff.
Forgot about that.
Hoping for the best for both of them. I hope they both have really good runs, and I'm very excited the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass are still winning. It's an up.
Well, moving on to the final match of the night. The salt of the earth, the devil, he's better than you and you know it. The boyhood dream has been fulfilled. MJF beat Jon Moxley with a little assistance from William Regal. Gets an up from me. Kind of what you expected, honestly. I mean, nothing else. Like I said, most of the show is what you expected, and it delivered. MJF's the new world champ. I'll look forward to seeing him 2 weeks from now in the Indiana Farmers Coliseum in Indianapolis, November 30th for AEW Dynamite. Up from me. I'm a big MJF fan. Big MJF guy.
I give it an up just because I'm a sucker for a good story. We all knew going into the pay-per-view that William Regal was going to turn on him. MJF had been repeatedly saying he is not going to use the ring to win the match. He repeatedly said it. All the promos. He threw the ring away, took the brass knuckles. He didn't use the ring to beat him. He stayed true to his word. He wrestled in between babyface and heel the whole time, and it was a great match all around. There's a video going around about after the show, the BCC's in the ring with John as he's getting up. William's obviously gone. So I want to see what happens on Wednesday, now that, you know, Regal is not with them. I want to see what happens because it looks like Wheeler Yuta is going to be turning heel possibly. Bryan may be turning heel possibly. We may get a whole heel BCC push. We don't know. I'm intrigued to see what all comes their way. It's an up.
The boyhood dream has finally come true. MJF has finally claimed the big one. The assistance was there, but let's be honest. None of us went into this knowing MJF was going to win this clean.
What do you mean? I thought so.
I thought there was going to be some
No.
distraction of a roll up or something, but
It could have set up a very, very good babyface run if he did. But I'm glad
he
they
doesn't
didn't.
wanna do that.
I'm glad they didn't.
Max does not want to play face ever if he can.
he was
control it.
cheered though, and John was booed.
Yeah, that's actually my next point, is that they called it on the fly to where Mox was working as the heel and MJF was working as the face, and it was so damn beautiful. All of it was amazing, all the way up until the power of the punch with the dusters. Beautiful. Another up. Really good show. Only one down, and we all agreed it was a down, so therefore it didn't happen.
Oh, there was more than one down.
I've given 2 downs.
I think I've also given 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, very solid show, start to finish. Let me humor myself. Is Tony Khan still talking? No way, right?
He's ranting longer than I did. I like that Cliff came back
no, it's
asking
over.
if I was done.
It was only an hour 45, so. But, I mean, like I said,
Jeez.
and sorry it felt like she took up half of that. But, like I said, very solid show, start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what we expected, but for the final show of the year, I mean, why not? Why not? You've had a good year pay-per-view buys-wise. You've had a great year media-wise. Of course, you've had your rough bumps with CM Punk and all that, but you could argue that any publicity is good publicity. Eyes haven't shied away from the product. They're retaining a lot of views, a lot of ratings. So AEW, it's looking good for AEW as long as they will pay MJF in 2024. Because he even said on an interview not too long ago that even if WWE pays him a penny more, he'll go. He said, this is verbatim, he said this isn't friends business, this is show business. So
2024?
2024.
we're getting there, we're almost
Stan
there.
Hansen comes back.
2024?
We aren't wrapping it up yet, don't jump the gun. We aren't wrapping her up yet. We got a few more things here. You talked about Jeff Jarrett. Well, 2002, on this day in pro wrestling history, 2002 at an NWA TNA weekly pay-per-view, Jeff Jarrett defeated Ron Killings to win his first NWA World Heavyweight Championship, that was probably the death of NWA TNA right there. With Jeff Jarrett winning that title, we all know now that Jeff Jarrett would go on to win like 30,000 more world titles and hold them for 40,000 years. Looking on further, in 2010, little Jim off the indies here. Jersey All Pro Wrestling's November to Remember. Brody Lee won a 4-way no disqualification, no countout match against Azrael, Dan Maff, and Nick Gage to become the JAPW Heavyweight Champion. In 2011, big day on Survivor Series for the old WWE. World Wrestling Entertainment Survivor Series was held in Madison Square Garden. Beautiful place, by the way, if you're ever able to go look at it. Beautiful. MSG is something else. But the main event saw the team of John Cena and If you smell what The Rock is cooking. John Cena and The Rock teamed up against the Awesome Truth, which was Miz and R-Truth. And this was The Rock's first WWE match since WrestleMania 20. But the match right before this one was when CM Punk submitted Alberto Del Rio to win the WWE Championship, and he would go on that 434-day reign as WWE Champion. In 2016, Survivor Series once again, the main event was Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. This was also Goldberg's first WWE match since WrestleMania 20, and this is
holy shit.
When what?
Jeff Jarrett has 23 different world title reigns, which is more than Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Fuck.
JEFFJARRETT. So yeah, that's when Goldberg won. If you guys were wondering, and in 2017, to wrap it all up, Monday Night Raw in Houston, Roman Reigns won his first IC title by defeating The Miz.
And
that wraps up today in pro wrestling history. A nice little quick segment there at the end. I mean, good night for wrestling. I mean, I think
honestly, yeah.
I think next weekend will be good as well with Survivor Series War Games. We were talking about that a little bit pre-show.
Within the next few hours, New Japan's going to be having one of their shows, the Stardom and New Japan crossover event.
So Forbidden Door.
They're technically owned by the same company.
I was about to say they're pretty much the exactly same thing, but
New Japan's going to have a women's championship now, though. So,
are they really?
Mm-hmm. That's the main event.
They have women main eventing?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be it's set to be a really good match, honestly.
Who is it?
Mayuri Watani and Kairi Sane.
Is she still going by Kairi Sane?
She's going by Kairi.
Bro, I haven't heard that name in years.
She's been on a hot streak, and so has Mayuri Watani. Both of them are really good wrestlers in Japan. They've done a lot in their respective careers, so it's gonna be a good match, honestly.
And you know that Japanese crowd will be hot as shit for it.
Oh,
they always are. Are they in the Tokyo Dome?
I'm not sure where it is. Let me check. They are. Come on. No, they're not. Some Iriake Arena in Tokyo.
If it ain't the Tokyo Dome, I don't care.
That's
if it ain't the Tokyo Dome, I don't want it. They have theirs in January?
Mm-hmm. Tokyo Dome will take place in January 4th.
Later.
Nope.
I always thought it was like May or something. Do they have something that goes on in the middle of the year like that? Isn't that when G1 is?
That's the G1, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
They have the G1 and the Super Junior tag. Or Super Junior singles tournament will be going on at that time.
Because I know they have their big one early in the year, and they have that in the middle of the year, and I honestly don't know what they do for the rest of the year. Besides like that one show that they do in New York.
They have the World Tag and the Super Junior Tag tournament.
Also, since they're discussing taking King of the Ring and making it a actual pay-per-view again, I hope that they do it like an actual tournament style. This is completely off the wall. It just popped in my head.
It's what it used to be.
But I know. That's what I'm saying. I hope they revert back to it where it's a one-night tournament.
It would be awesome.
I just watched a video over Billy Gunn's solo run. And Billy Gunn won King of the Ring. No one gave a shit about it.
When?
It was during his one solos push when he got obliterated by The Rock. He literally won King of the Ring. Well, I'm pretty sure the first two people that they wanted to win, they couldn't. So Billy Gunn was like because like there was no confetti, there was no like celebration, no anything. Like he won and just like kind of left. And there was like no crown, no robe. The most we got was like a crown on his ass and like on his gear. That's all it was.
I did not know that. 1999.
Sounds about right. Because that was when they had him in a program with The Rock. And then, well, they had him in a program with the rest of DX for the longest time. Fighting for the right to DX. Because it was him and China versus Road Dogg and X-Pac. And after that ended...
He defeated Ken Shamrock.
Yep. Well, I think the thing with Ken Shamrock was that he was already hurt. I think that was like the storyline going into that.
The final was against X-Pac.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I hope that they revert back to that. I would definitely enjoy seeing that.
It would be nice.
Like a full one night only tournament. And then kind of make it a decently big deal again. Kind of like what Xavier Woods did before the Tribal Chief stomped on his crown.
His Burger King crown.
Acknowledge
he had it
baby.
his way with Paige.
He did have it his way with Paige. They got that on 4K footage, baby. 480p right there on the tube.
The hub, you mean?
Nah, the tube. Red tube, baby. But, I was probably say before we go any further down that hole, I think that's all I got. I mean, we're just kind of rambling at this point.
Yeah.
Cliff, you got anything you want to talk about or discuss? You've been kind of quiet here lately.
I'm good. I'm just letting y'all go. It's kind of entertaining, not gonna lie.
I just want to say, just remember, we got you covered because we are your ace in the hole. Catch you on down the road.
That ain't gonna happen.
Bro trying to steal the fucking outro from me once again. Bro's like a fucking one-trick pony. Bro steals it once and it's funny, so he keeps trying again and again and again.
I don't want to do Stan Hansen again.
Bro, you've worked yourself into that role, brother. Don't work yourself into a shoot.
I already did Stan Hansen.
Don't work yourself into a shoot, brother.
I already did Stan Hansen, and I got reminded. I almost sent it to you guys today. There was a picture of him with Hulk Hogan back in the 80s. And it is one of the dumbest photos you'll ever see.
Well, I'm pretty...
Hogan had the black eye?
No. That was during WrestleMania. What are you talking about?
I didn't know if it was that picture. I didn't know.
No. No,
it was probably back when they
dumber
wrestled
than
together.
that.
Because Hulk Hogan wrestled at, I think it was either NWA or like Crockett. He wrestled for Crockett or something like that.
He used to wrestle in Japan too.
And then they wouldn't put the title on him because he was like the new wave of pro wrestler. Mm-hmm. He was like the '80s superstar, like the over the top, like Macho Man, all that type of stuff. But whoever the promoter was wanted to keep it like a dude that could actually beat your ass. Crockett. So he took it to he took his idea to Vince or Vince's dad, and then that's kind of how Hulkamania was born. Because bro wouldn't put the title on him.
Yeah, there's a lot of old wrestlers that don't get recognized for what they did, and they should. Ted DiBiase deserves a lot more credit.
Oh, I love Ted DiBiase.
Everybody's got a price.
I got a little Ted DiBiase.
Well, it's not even the $1 Million Man. Him and Stan Hansen used to be tag partners. He used to have a really good run outside of WWE before he was even the $1 Million Man.
Bro's the $1 Million Man, though.
But he was good without being.
He's probably like the best heel to ever grace the screen. He had people He would call people's kids up and make them fail challenges on live television, bro. It doesn't get more heel than that.
Rob Van Dam kissed his foot for money.
Young Rob Van Dam.
Doesn't get more heel than that, brother. But I feel like I was going to say something. I completely forget. I got completely sidetracked. Oh, yeah. Did you know Cowboy Bob Orton is still wrestling?
Yes,
What?
I saw that video the other day.
He's still wrestling.
It is. Look, old wrestlers, I know you're not listening to this, but an off chance you are, stop.
Yeah,
Get some
go
help.
home. Retire, bro. Don't
There's
want
a
you to end up
retirement home for you.
like the dude in The Wrestler.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, I was about to say Mickey Rourke. I wanted to say Mickey Rourke, but I didn't want to sound like an idiot if I got it wrong. The Ram.
They're making a
That's
Von
not a
Erich
terrible movie. They are, and MJF's in it, and so is Chavo Guerrero.
And so is Zac Efron.
Yeah. Zac Efron is Von Erich, I'm pretty sure, or one of the Von Erichs.
It looks good.
It's going to be interesting. There's been a lot of pro wrestling content, like media-wise, like movies and stuff to come out here lately.
I honestly want to say this. Can you guys bear with us as we try and figure out what to do expansion-wise with episodes and stuff? We're wanting to do stuff that entertains us and also we hope entertains you guys as well, which is why we've done the drafts on the podcast and stuff. We want to do stuff that's going to entertain you guys and also that we find fun to do. So bear with us as we're trying to find how to put everything into a nice, fluid motion of the podcast uploads.
Bro trying to steal everything from me tonight.
I didn't even know. Yeah, I know you're going to talk about that.
But yeah, he's 1,000% right. Clifford, you're going to say something, you loaded up like you're about to say something.
No, I legit was just moving my mic. I forgot I was muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it sounded like you're taking a deep breath and you're going to start saying something, so I didn't want to cut you off.
No.
But yeah, he's 1,000% right. I'm not even going to expand on it anymore because he said pretty much exactly what I was going to say. So yeah, just bear with us. Trying to figure out what we want to do. We enjoy this regardless, but like the drafts and stuff, we genuinely have a lot of fun doing. So not that this isn't genuinely fun. It's a different type of fun.
Yeah.
It's just a different feeling. It's a more fun, more like carefree, easygoing type of thing. Whereas this is more very point A, point B, point C, very cut and dry. We try to bring as much personality to it. I'd like to say I bring quite a bit of personality to it as well as the other two do as well. Try and make it enjoyable for you to listen to. And as always, we appreciate the hell out of you for listening.
Oh,
Love every single one of you, whether it's one listener or 1,000 listeners. I don't give a shit. We love every single one of you, wherever you are, wherever you're at. Just know you're loved. Don't let anyone stop you from doing your fucking thing. Be a fucking boss. Be a fucking pimp. Do your own thing. Don't let anyone get in the way of that. It doesn't matter who it is. Chase your fucking dreams, man. Really, who's gonna stop you but you? If there's something you want to fucking do, go and do it. You want to be a pro wrestler? Be a fucking pro wrestler. Just have that drive to do it. Don't settle for mediocrity when you feel that you can be more than that. Because you can be more than that. Everyone can be more than that. Always be chasing something. Never be sitting there on your ass not knowing what to do. Be chasing that dream, no matter how crazy it is. Because everyone's called crazy until they accomplish what they want to accomplish. So let's fucking do it, man. Man, woman, and everyone else. Fucking do it. That's pretty much all I gotta say. Getting
Good words.
motivation. Better say getting motivational here on the closing words tonight.
We were told that we weren't even going to last a month, and here we are, 2-3 months?
We're staying persistent. Doesn't matter. Like I said, doesn't matter if we got one listener or 1,000 listeners. we'll put out content as long as there's someone listening to it. So I think with that, we're going to wrap this up. Eli, any final words?
Stan Hansen's still one of the best out there. As long as he doesn't come out of retirement if he's still alive, we're all good.
Bro, don't even know if he's still alive or not.
I don't. I think he is, because I saw a picture of him and Ted DiBiase not too long ago.
All right, well, you're looking that up. Cliff, any final words from you?
In the words of the devil himself, the bidding war of 2024 will be some of the wildest times in the history of pro wrestling. Who honestly knows what's going to happen then? Because, like, that's the Elite. That's MJF. That's a lot of the AEW originals are 2024. So, who knows what's going to happen?
I feel like a lot of them that signed on. How old is he? Like 80?
73.
Damn. He's younger than I thought then. But going back to the 2024, I think a lot of them signed on to 2024. Even the WWE exports. I think that's just kind of the year that is kind of the deadline for a lot of their contracts. So, regardless, that's going to be a batshit crazy year. Fuck, maybe by that time I might pop up on the goddamn show. That's how crazy it might be. Might have my ass doing backstage segments. If the pizza guy can do it, why can't I? God damn it!
If a fisherman can become an NFL player, who says you can't be a wrestler?
That goes back to exactly what I was saying. Chase your fucking dreams, man. Don't let anyone hold you down. Don't let mediocrity stop you. Don't let the fear of being great stop you. Strive to be great every single day. Don't let the fear stop you. Fear is just another emotion. Push through that shit. Get your shit done. Become the best at what you do. Because that's what we're striving for. That's what I'm striving for. But, closing it out here. Full Gear tonight. Pretty solid show. Closing it up here from Indiana at 2:45 in the morning Eastern Time, 1:45 Central Time. Central Time for Cliff. This has been the Ace and Old Podcast, and with me tonight, as frequently as they can be, with Eli, Cliff. My name's Austin Guerin. Remember, we got you covered because we're your Ace in the Hole. Catch you on down the road.
Bye.